friends to a podcast that's been described as
emotional
and
terrifying.
One guy even said it was
So awesome it will shock you to the core.
finally another podcast about Godzilla and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, KES and Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Odo Island. Welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. I am KES, and with me as always is the munch to my fin, Slick. How you doing?
Oh, that's good. Was that intro also a callback to my coughing fits from last episode?
Kind of. It was also Andre the Giant's birthday, so I did the Pit of Despair guy.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, people can probably tell that we are remote, but I guess the first thing people are going to think is that I got the Rona based on last episode and this episode, but it's not the case. That is not the case. That was truly allergies. Had a little exposure to the Rona, though. So, trying to keep things safe for all parties involved.
I've been immunized, so.
Well, I am vaxxed and boosted,
Likewise,
as you all should be.
Yeah, me too.
But I was around somebody who was also vaxxed and boosted who tested positive, and so I am just riding it out,
Yeah.
making sure nothing bad happens. That's all.
So yeah, I am still in the clear. So I'm still one of the few who have not gotten coronavirus or been around it, or don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Yes, as far as I'm aware, I have not gotten it either. And in the state that we live in, there has been studies that suggest that more than half of the people that live in our state have had it at some point in time.
Right.
So, but yeah, no. So there you go. Just that's what you got to do. Got to be safe and healthy, right? That's what you got to do.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a remoter for you this episode, and then the next episode, we'll see how we're doing.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into the cinematic masterpiece that is the giant claw, do you have anything you would like to kick us off with?
Yeah. So it's rare that I'm the news boy, but today I am. So obviously, as most people know, Operation Monarch came out for the Call of Duty game. Free online, sandbox, multiplayer.
It's a battle royale, right?
Battle royale, yes, exactly.
To set the table of your own segment. You are not only not much of an online multiplayer person, you are not a battle royale person at all.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. I do like Call of Duty though, but I'm more of a single player campaign guy. I like Elden Ring. The last Call of Duty game I played was World at War, the one that came out after Modern Warfare. So we're going back over 10 years now.
Yeah.
That was the last time I played a Call of Duty game. Like I said, I'm not much of a multiplayer guy. It's just when I play a video game, I'm trying to get away from other people and sort of get into my own little world. I don't really
I'm a loner, Donnie.
A rebel. There are things about you can't know about me. There's things about you shouldn't know about me. Whatever the line is. Fuck it. But I did download this 88.9 gigabyte game installation for
oh my god
my Xbox. It was funny. I took a picture while I was playing Elden Ring. It was like, oh, it'll be ready in 12 hours. I was like, oh geez. And then it's like, stop playing a game and it'll go faster. I was like, fine. So I just let it go. But overall, I think it was pretty fun. Basically, I'll run down the game for you. You show up on this island, you're parachuting down, and Kong is on the interior of the island. He's your flyover state monster, and then your coastal monster with all the elites. That's Godzilla.
Now, do you have to summon them, or are they like a power up, or are they just always on the map?
They're just pretty much always there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so Kong is hurling giant boulders at you, and obviously Godzilla has the atomic breath. So one of the things I found out pretty quick was that if you shoot Kong in the gonads, you get extra experience points, and that gets you.
No, I heard
stuff.
I heard that. Yes.
So it's something I did. I learned pretty quickly in the game. Don't know how that happened, but obviously, Godzilla, like, you can't really get close to. Obviously because he's radioactive, but also because you'll be away from combat. So my experience with the game is this: like, I'm out there, I'm trying to interact with the monsters. I don't really care about the people, even though the people definitely care about you. So the way I played the game was just basically like trying to avoid people and like deal with the monsters, because that's what I was there for. But the people you're playing against are definitely there for you, and they will kill you in an instant.
Yeah.
So,
now, is this team or squad based?
Yeah.
Or is this all like 100-person, all on your own?
No,
type,
it's
deal?
like 3 or 4 people to a squad. You just get matched with
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I was obviously a bad squad member because I was not interested in racking up wins or kills or anything like that. I was interested in interacting with the monsters. So, I died a lot more than I killed. But, if someone's shooting at you, you get a clear shot, you take it. And
I'm gonna imagine there was also a gimmick that made the map get smaller as time went on.
I didn't experience that.
Oh, so I guess it's not just a total knockoff of Fortnite or PUBG.
Maybe it is. I didn't notice it, but from what I could tell, like, Godzilla and Kong didn't interact with each other so much. It was more like you shoot them and then they interact with you. Maybe.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you like do enough damage to them, they'll notice you. I definitely got Kong to attack me a lot more than I got Godzilla. Godzilla does not seem to give a fuck. Godzilla is more likely to like fire his atomic breath and then like swim away.
I see. Okay. The clips I've seen, Kong looks okay, but the model for Godzilla looks fucking awesome in the clips that I've seen.
I honestly thought both looked really good while I was playing the game. No complaints there. The only thing I thought was a bit off was like the way the water looked. It has this like weird row shape to it, like almost like they had enough water to make it look good for like a very small period, and then it sort of doubles itself. So it looks like a lot of like different rows and stuff. Almost like how a Nintendo game looks, and you can see like the pixels and like where they stop and where they start again. It's kind of So that was the only thing that I thought looked a little bit wonky, but other than that, I thought Kong and Godzilla looked really good, especially considering on original Xbox One.
I thought they both looked good. Just like something about like Kong's fur didn't look. I don't know. I think Godzilla's probably just easier to model, I would think, than a big hairy monkey. But I was like, I was like seeing those clips, and I was like, oh man, I was like, this is like, you could make a console game like that looks like this, like, it'd be so good.
There's no reason not to do it at this point now. Like, make a single player game where the monsters are attacking a city and you're either trying to escape the city or you try to find the orca to lure them away or deactivate them or whatever. There's meat on this bone. The limited amount of I played the game, probably like an hour or two, thoroughly enjoyed it. But like I said, it's always kind of ruined by the fact that there's other people who are trying to kill you and not really letting you like enjoy what you're there to do, basically.
What you're there to do.
And I get that I'm playing the game wrong. I fully acknowledge that. But like, that's why I'm saying there's meat on the bone for like a single player version of this game where you can interact with them on your own and you have to deal with people trying to kill you.
Yeah. I wonder if I mean, like, this is obviously a big studio, big company.
Yeah.
You know, I could see like them saying, well, even though they are very popular right now, like, you know, would a studio dump AAA quality? No, probably not, because like, it would like, I feel like it's like how everyone says like, on like the movie side of things, like the MCU has like destroyed cinema. It's almost like how like I also disagree with that, but like how like everyone's just kind of like everything's got to be a blockbuster now, like everything's got to be like a tentpole movie. It's almost like how like in video games, like with big budget studios, it's like if you can't do games as a service, it's almost like the studios that could dump all that money aren't going to dump all that money.
Yeah.
And you know, that's Now, I don't know if Godzilla and Kong like would make that cut, but I don't know. Someone should do something. Toho seems like they'd.
I think there's a lot of meat in the bone for a game starring monsters that could be a more single player experience. Like I like this. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good. Call of Duty's awesome. Very good controls. Plays nice. Looks great. No complaints. The only thing I would want is that it just made me sort of itch for like a single player game where you're a human,
right,
and you're dealing with like these real monsters, and like I said, you're looking for the orca to deactivate the monsters, or you're trying to lure them away from the city, or just escape yourself. Like there's room for a game like that.
Yeah. I think like if it would be like totally be like some sort of like original story. You could set it in the Monsterverse. You can bounce between human characters and playing as monster characters. Like,
right.
You know, there should be a way. It's just if I don't know. I mean, like it gives me like a little bit of hope that like Toho, like it seems like this is a very popular event. I feel like everywhere I turn, even like in non-Godzilla circles, I feel like this event is being talked about. So
it's like, well, those battle royale games are very popular. Like there's no difficulty finding a match. Like there's plenty of people playing them. So like adding Kong and Godzilla to the mix, it's like, okay, well, what's this? And it's a very cool concept where, like, basically, like I said, Kong's in the interior of the island and he's wreaking havoc and throwing huge boulders at players. And basically, if you stand still, you're done. Godzilla's the same way, but he's on the coasts of the island.
He's your perimeter player.
Yeah,
he's your perimeter.
and it just works. Like for some reason, like you can very easily be out of reach of both of them, but still like enjoy the game and have a good time. But like they're both usually within sight, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you played it because I didn't want to take up. I think it's the file's actually bigger on the PS4. It's like 95 gigs altogether, and it's like you obviously need a little bit more free to install. And I was like, I would have to delete so much shit off my PlayStation 4 like to do that, because like
I just had to delete Master Chief Collection and that was it.
I made the mistake early on with like when I got like the PS4 like years ago now, is that like buying games digitally is just so easy. And it's like I have just filled my PlayStation with digital purchases and like very few physical purchases. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I totally regret that now. Because it's like I'm constantly having like to like delete something. And even if it's like something I haven't like played in forever, I'm like, oh, what if I like want to play that though? Then I'm gonna have to like download it. It's gonna take like 3 hours. And so I regret that. I have moved to buy everything physical now that I want to get.
So PlayStation 4, you could just put the game in and play it?
Yeah. Well, no, not this. No, not this Call of Duty game. But I mean, like, all the other game.
That's an option because it's not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
When you if with a physical disc, you have to install the game.
Well, yeah, you still got to install it, but it takes up less space and it's faster and easier. Like a game will install faster, like way faster.
Okay.
So, but. I guess also we should note at the time of this recording, I don't know if you've even seen it, as of today, which is Thursday, a lot of people on Twitter are talking about how like a production company showed up in some sort of production insider magazine, like there's like what people are calling a plot synopsis for like the next Monsterverse movie, and it's like again, it's from a production company in a production insider magazine, and it basically just says like something to the effect of like, oh, the Monsterverse continues with the two main stars of the Monsterverse getting ready to square off against each other again, and everyone's like kind of taking this as like, sorry, and then it says working titles for this movie: Origins, which sounds just literally like a working title, / Son of Kong. Which is, I almost said Song of Kong because of you. But it's
a musical.
But like everyone's like taking this as like, oh, the next movie is really going to be a Godzilla versus Kong rematch. And it's like, no, I take that as like, that is just a production company as just that the Monsterverse is continuing, whatever. Like, I would not take that as the actual plot threads of the next Monsterverse movie. Like, it's just, that's just my 2 cents. But a lot of people on the internet having a lot of stress over that, like little little snippet that got out there.
My take on this is for Song of Kong. I love you, Dr. Sarazawa.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
There you go.
So, there's my take on that. Don't worry too much about what this random 2-sentence plot synopsis is.
It seems like a whole lot of nothing there, so whatever.
Yep. No, I don't know if we mentioned it, but I think the MonsterVerse Godzilla TV series, is supposed to start filming like right now, basically.
Awesome.
I think it was right now or June. I think it was filming something like that. So let's get those details first before we start. And so what if they do fight again? They're gonna Godzilla and Kong gonna be like in every MonsterVerse movie from as long as that shared universe continues. I think they'll just constantly be in there. So
sidebar, I am working on my musical Song of Kong for release off Broadway sometime in 2023.
It's like how Ozzy used to always talk about how he was working on he had completed a musical on the life of Rasputin. It's gonna be like that.
No, it's gonna be more like how Judas Priest made a concept album of Nostradamus.
we could there's a Toho movie called Prophecies of Nostradamus that I've never seen, and I think it's actually one of the movies that I think was like kind of banned from TV for a while because of one particular scene. And we could watch that and put the Judas Priest album, re-edit it and have the Judas Priest album be the soundtrack.
I'm sure that's what they had in mind.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's all I got for news. Definitely 2 thumbs up to the Operation Monarch game. Played if you haven't yet. I think it's worth the time. It's a big download, but you know what? If you can free up the space, and it's a good way to kill about 2 hours, and then you're going to be like, okay, I think I've absorbed all I need to for this.
Yeah,
I know what it is. It's,
all right.
Battle Royale with Kong and Godzilla. It's as advertised.
I like it. I dig it. I will never play it, but
all right.
Glad to hear it's good. Well, maybe one day if I just wipe out everything from my PS4. But
like I said, it only took me one thing to delete, which was massive to begin with. So that was, and I can always just reinstall it. I'm in no rush.
It's true. That's true. All right. Well, shall we?
Let's do it.
This is the Giant Claw is today's topic. So, a movie I have seen, but have not seen in a long, long time, and definitely not watching it like with the lens that I watch movies for this podcast.
Yeah.
And was this your first time, or had you seen?
I've seen clips, but I've never watched the movie. And yeah,
Mike,
I tell you, it sucks and it blows.
So, little table setting. It's a gem from 1957 from Columbia Pictures. I wonder what that little known studio went on to do. It was produced by it was produced by a man named Sam Katzman, who was known, or like what Columbia loved about him is that
he preferred dogs.
He produced low-budget movies that made a ton of money for Columbia and other studios. So he was like, and he has a quote saying something like, something I'm going to paraphrase, basically something like, the best movies aren't the ones that are the most artistic, they're the ones that make the most money. So I guess you could really call him the Michael Bay of his time. But I
disagree with that.
But I don't know. I mean, this is a special effects masterpiece. If lens flare was a filming technique at the time, I'm sure it would have been here. But antimatter antimatter studies were in the news at the time, and it's believed that had some influence on the kind of throwaway origins and lines or implication that the Giant Claw has antimatter powers, but whatever. But the Giant Claw, the prop, is really the star of this movie, and the origins of that prop there's a lot of conflicts around the origins of the Giant Claw prop. So around the time Sam Katzman in an interview with Variety, said that all of his movies have a budget of $500,000 up to $500,000, and that much of that money can go to special effects. But there is the rumor that has the most corroboration, at least in my opinion, is that Sam Katzman had the prop made in Mexico for $50. And so another famous aspect of this movie is that, or infamous, is that the cast had no idea what the giant claw looked like.
Yep,
and like they were told that like you're reacting to some scary hawk-like creature. And Jeff Morrow, who plays the lead character in this movie, had a quote where he said, "We poor benighted actors had our own idea of what the giant bird would look like. Our concept was that this was something that resembled a streamlined hawk, possibly half a mile long, flying at such speeds that we could barely see it." And the way the legend goes is that when the cast, particularly Jeff Morrow, were at a premiere screening of this movie and the giant claw appeared on screen, that he sneaked out of the theater in embarrassment at the sight of the prop. I don't know if that is legend or truth, but that is that.
Have you ever seen the movie About the Room? I forget what it's called. Disaster Artist?
No. Yes, okay. I mean, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. That's the James Franco one, right?
Yeah, so spoiler for the end, when Tommy sees The Room in theaters and people are laughing at it, he does the same thing. He slinks out of embarrassment because they're not taking it seriously. And then like the rest of the cast come out and they're like, "No, what are you doing? Look at them. They love this movie." And it sort of made him feel better. So it's too bad that the rest of the cast didn't like come out and try to cheer him up.
I personally I'm not I wouldn't say I like bad movies from this era. Like they all have like a bit of like
sure.
But like something can be like really bad. This movie was, well, whatever. Before I get into it, that there is a high on plastic giant claw figure, which I actually have. It's actually right behind me. The design of that they made for the giant claw is actually much cooler than the one that was in the film. High on Plastic makes like really cool B movie figures. Like they're all usually kind of like one kind of like glowy, like glow in the dark type plastic, and they have the giant claw. They have Roman from Robot Monster, which if you've never seen that, that's a treat. And I looked to see what they have a few others, but I saw that they recently have been producing Odorous Orungus figures, the deceased singer from Gwar. Yeah, so they're pretty cool. So cool little company. They make they take kind of weird properties like this and make cool figures. So so that's the background, or that's my background anyway for what I have here. So this movie.
What a weird. I'm just gonna say one thing. How this movie hooked me in was at the beginning where the guy's flying around, and he's like, "Oh, there's some UFO thing going on around here," and so they send more planes to go look for it, and then he comes back down, and they're like, "Your false, your fake out prank got one of our planes. It hasn't come back yet," and I'm like, "Well, don't you think it's not a fake then? Like, shouldn't that tell you that it's something legit is happening?" And like their reaction was immediately to no, fuck this guy for playing this prank on us. And then just by happenstance, another plane that went and followed up on it never came back. Like,
yeah, they're like, "Oh, what a ribber you are, getting our dudes killed." And also, I liked how one of the pilots had like a bloody face randomly to just they just smeared jam on his face.
Oh no, because Oh yeah, that's when the plane went down. So the pilot,
yeah.
The pilot hit his face on the steering wheel supposedly, and it went down. The other two people, fine, not a scratch on them when this plane crashes.
Yeah,
I was just like, what is this? You couldn't
especially
even
in the
give
beginning
them
of
a black
movie,
eye.
Especially in the beginning of this movie too, and kind of throughout, it does the thing that Ed Wood did when he was splicing a whole bunch of unrelated clips together, that he's had narration over it, because but Ed Wood was just kind of stitching a bunch of clips that had no cohesiveness together. and he's like narrating over it to make it cohesive. Like, this movie just did it all the time, and this is not an Ed Wood movie. This is like they were just like, we're just gonna kind of speed this thing along. And the dude who did the narration, I was drinking some cocktails when I was watching this movie. So I was going to make sure I refer to my notes. Sounds like Mark Wahlberg in my head. Like, whenever I was like watching this,
It
I was
does?
like,
Oh my god!
the narrator sounds like Mark Wahlberg. Hey, how's your father? Tired from fucking your mother. Didn't say that. That's his only good line from The Departed. Was that? But yeah. So when the plane crashes, the thing that killed me is like the two main protagonists, they kind of like roll out of the plane and then they just throw like burning shit at them. Like, that's supposed to be like plane wreckage.
Yeah, so that's when the plane blows up. Like, they like very clearly like stuff is just tossed at them.
Yeah, it's like it comes so close to hitting one of them in the head, and it's like on fire. I like died laughing. I was like, you just threw shit at him. You didn't even throw it well.
Clearly, a grip did not earn their pay that day.
Io didn't live up to that title. And then like the next scene, they're like at like a nearby village or whatever, like, and it's like I don't remember their names. The main guy and the main girl. They're like having a drink, like coming down from this plane crash, like in this dude's house or cottage or whatever. And then like they come in, like the ambulance comes in, like, oh yeah, his body's over there. And like they just pick up like the dead pilot who's like under a blanket, like who's been in that room the whole time while they're just like chilling, cracking jokes and like drinking some like brandy. Like, and I was like, you're just drinking with the dude dead on the couch the whole time? They're
sitting Shiva, Chris. They're in mourning.
Yeah, they looked like they were real broken up about it. I was like, when they picked him up and put him on like the stretcher, and I was like, wait, the dude was on the couch the whole time? Yeah. He was just dead? And you're just like kind of flirting with each other this whole time? I was like, it's fucking weird.
Look, brevity is a good thing to do in the face of death. That's what Terminator 3 taught me.
Yeah. I'm missing another highlights from the first third of this movie.
So another highlight for me was when the punk kids are in front of them when they're driving, and they don't give a shit about the giant claw. They don't care. They're invincible. They're going to live forever. And then the giant claw shows up and runs the car off the road and kills them. But like two kids jumped out before it could happen, so they're just unconscious on the side of the road.
The beatniks.
Yeah.
No, go
other
ahead.
than that, like I was going to say, other than that, there's not really too many highlights for me. I just enjoyed that scene because I was like, these kids are definitely dying, and of course they did.
Yeah, there is also the really uncomfortable scene when they're on the plane, and I'm always like fascinated by plane scenes from the 50s because like those seats are like ginormous compared to now, and
oh yeah,
and it's like,
would you two mind keeping it down? People are trying to sleep.
Yeah. First, the dude goes to kiss her just like while she's sleeping, and I was like, well, that's fucking 1957 in the fucking time capsule right there, now isn't it? And then she wakes up and they get into this like really weird like making out analogy that's like all based around baseball, and it goes on for like an uncomfortably long period of time, and then it's like then he's like, gadzooks, the claws flying like in a circle or something. Then I was like, okay, the scene is, yep. Why are you going to move on from a 1950s mentality? So,
yeah, and then the scene fades to black as they start making out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, speaking of fading to black, did you watch this on Tubi or did you watch this on like Archive or something?
No, I watched it on the YouTube.
On the YouTube, not the YouTube.
Yeah.
So I watched it on Tubi, and like. This happened. So sometimes you watch stuff on Tubi, like you'll get like an ad, like a really quick ad throughout the movie. And after one of those fade outs, one of the ads I got was it was 30 seconds long, and it was just a black and white screen that just had the Jeep logo, and it was dead silent. And I was like, this is legitimately the creepiest thing in this movie. It like reminded me of, like, the Simpsons gag with like Mr. Plow, and they're like, was that commercial for you or not? And they're like, I don't know. So Jeep, I don't know about your Tubi ads. Very unsettling to me. It gave me a very threatening aura.
So you're not going to rush out and buy a new 2022 Jeep?
No. That first, it terrified me. Second, I'm a Volkswagen guy through and through.
Oh, of course.
But,
I'm well aware of this. I was just joking around with you. I'm considering a Jeep now. Not because I want one, but just because their ads are so creepy.
I mean, I'm talking about it now, so I guess it worked.
Yeah.
So the claw itself, it tries so hard to get the term giant battleship or flying battleship over. Does this look like a flying battleship to you?
If battleships are birds, then yes. If they're not birds, then no. And from my knowledge, I can't think of a single battleship that looks like a bird, so no.
Is this the best, worst creature design, or just the worst creature design?
It's not the worst creature design. It's hilarious, but it's not the worst creature design. It's I would say like they're like joke monsters with like, you know, that would probably look way worse. This is more of like a Rega or Rigo or whatever that.
Oh, Rego, right? We already blocked it out what it was.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of something from like that. It's not terrifying at all. It's hilarious, but like also if it existed in real life and it looked that goofy, it was still like a murderous, you know, fast flying, unstoppable thing. Then you'd be scared shitless of it too. So it's just
that is true. That is true. If something that goofy was real and just killing nonstop, like, it would be fucking terrifying because of like how uncomfortable it looks.
I compare it to like Shin Godzilla, the first form, where it's like going through the streets and it looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like the eyes are kind of the same, right?
Yeah, it's all weird looking, and it's like if you saw it in real life, you'd be terrified of it. But the fact that you're seeing it on screen, it's kind of like, ha! It looks like Gonzo.
Gonzo was my favorite Muppet growing up. Did you ever play the Angry Video Game Nerd, like the side scroller Mega Man type game that was out years ago? The giant claws of boss.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, like, it never stops screeching in this movie. It just screeches constantly, which is a little annoying. But I was like, would it look better if like? All right, well, you get like the golf ball eyes, which I feel like are just, that's probably the worst part of it. And then I think like the weird feathered mohawk thing going on is, I mean, it's all fucking bad. I can't even find a way to try to like think of a way to make it better. But
I'm pulling this up right now. Just give me a sec. I want to talk about the thing I like the least about it. I'm just pulling it up because I want to look at it as I describe it. So, do you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Charlie has his dream book, they're trying to throw him a birthday party, and they're looking through his dream book or his drum book, as he writes it. He has a few dream things going on, and one of them is a bird with teeth. And so, like, for me, like, it's like Charlie Day designed this. It's a bird, but it has teeth. Like, honestly, like, I would probably put this on like a wrestling belt just to be hilarious instead of an eagle. Just have it be like the giant claw.
The giant claw. Oh my god. Well, I have this idea with the OIWF, as we have not like posted anything in a couple of weeks, but we have also got, yeah. We've also gotten a lot of new followers. And I was like, all right, well, you know, I'll do like a little like recap thread And God, it'd be awesome if like we ever made like a custom OIWF belt so that they all just have, instead of the winged eagle, it's just, yeah, like you said, the giant claw belt.
Yeah.
It's like funny to think that like at the same time that this movie's out, like Rodan has been out for like a year. Well, probably not in America, but like Rodan is a movie that already exists at this point, and here's the giant claw. So let that kind of sink in.
Yeah, like if they were trying to build this as like a, I don't know what the advertising stuff or the marketing was like for this, but if they're trying to build this up as like a real, like, you're going to be scared shitless, no. If they were trying to build this up as like, you better come see what the giant claw looks like then you might have something. But like,
we gotcha. They got us again.
Yeah.
That's Sam Katzman. He got us again.
Like, if they were trying to build it up as like a mystery, like you'll never guess what it looks like type of thing, like maybe you have something. I just can't imagine like anyone being terrified of this thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Looking at my notes, one, I kind of forgot what the context was to this, but somebody says I'm from Montana, and I forgot why they say that and what that's in a reference to. So we're gonna move past that. But there was one scene that was like when the giant claws like killing all the dudes like in the fighter jets, and like the main guy is like listening with like the army general, and like they just like hear the people like kind of like screaming on the radios like they're dying. Like the general kind of gets up and just like turns off the radio as like the guy's like, he's like, it's coming, oh my god, he's like shuts the radio off, and he's like, I was like, oh yeah, fuck those guys, huh? You just didn't want to hear any of that, huh?
Yeah, some people just don't want to hear the screams of the soon to be deceased.
They're dying, R2. They're dying. I'm trying to like kind of like even like remember like it's like I remember all the scenes, but it's like I just don't even like really recall like what the plot of this movie like even is, like for the most part. They're just like they're like, oh, it's flying in a weird circular pattern. Oh, it's maybe laying eggs. Oh, we have something to disrupt its antimatter. All right, we killed it. And I'm like, what happened? And like, I just don't recall like anything of note happening in this movie outside of like, these stupid scenes we just talked about.
It's a very forgettable movie.
Yeah, I just watched it like 3 days ago.
Me too. And yeah, I was just like watching it, just being like, wow, it's a 72-minute movie that feels like a 3-hour movie.
It sure does. It sure does.
It does not pace well. It looks terrible. Like the special effects are very goofy. The highlight of the movie for me was when the giant claw eats the people who jump out of the airplanes.
Oh yeah, it just like catches them like on the way down.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, what else is there? The claw knocks over like a building when it's attacking the city towards the end. There's maybe like, yeah. I was like, does this movie really have like a budget of somewhere between like $250,000, $500,000? Like, where did it all go? Where did it all go?
To probably the Mr. Katzman's retirement fund. Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to say.
I really don't have much to say too. I said at the beginning, yeah, you're right, Mike. It sucks and it blows. That is a local sports reference, so I don't blame you if you don't get that.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all you really have to say about this movie. It sucks and it blows.
Now, but how hard does it suck and blow, in your opinion?
In my opinion,
with stars.
So 1 is a jobber, 5 is a main eventer, 2, 3, 4 are mid-carders. Required viewing, yes. Good movie, no. 1 star.
Why is it required viewing?
It's a classic, you know. You have to see it once. It's like losing your kid teeth, is how I would compare it to. It's like, yes, you have to lose them, so just get it over with, and once it's done, you'll be more of an adult. afterwards.
I like how we called the Giant Claw and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. We called them both required viewings, but gave them for very different reasons.
Yeah, well, I feel like the Beast is actually a little bit redeeming, and that the special effects are awesome. This really doesn't have any redeeming qualities. It's like the Beast of 20,000 or from 20,000 Fathoms with no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Yeah, this is like an Ed Wood movie without the fun of being an Ed Wood movie. Like,
right.
I know everyone there are some really fucking terrible Ed Wood movies, but when you think of like Bride of the Monster and Plan 9 from Outer Space and stuff like that, like those are fun watching experiences. Like this is like not a very fun watching experience. Like the only thing that's like fun about this movie is the reveal of how ridiculous the Giant Claw looks, and like you could probably just go watch a trailer on YouTube and kind of get that. So, but it is a little funny for how bad it is. I kind of reserve my 1 stars for irredeemable movies, so I think I'll maybe give this a 2 because it's stupid enough to be fun. But it's like the lowest possible 2-star I can give, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I will always laugh at the thought of them just hanging out with the dead pilot under the blanket on the couch and just kind of throwing back some drinks. Which follows the scene where like a cast and crew are throwing burning debris at the 2 main stars and nearly hitting them in the head with burning debris. I mean, I guess that's
Well, promise me
I guess
this.
that's enough.
If I ever die in a plane crash, you will drag my dead body to a house where you will proceed to drink over it.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be
cool.
like I'll even invite people. So yeah, there you go. I talked to myself and feeling better about the 2. It's a 2.
Sure, yeah, and I'm historically a little bit more critical when it comes to bad movies. It's either so bad it's good, and I overrate it because of how hilarious it was, or it's so bad and I just hate it. And this kind of falls into that category, so it's a 1 for me.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think we're kind of on the same page in this one. So maybe see it because we think it's so bad.
I think it's required viewing. You should see it.
Yeah.
Hey, Slick, you get any figs?
I did. Did you?
Oh, I sure did. It's a
Oh.
It's a banner week for the old KES household.
Well, lay it on us. What'd you get?
I at your you texted me to let me know it was available, but I picked up the GvK playset with the diorama and 2 figures at the old Target.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic day. I got to build up the playset much like you did. Very easy process, although the directions could have been a little bit clearer. But if you have,
you didn't find the cardboard to be a little flimsy, particularly with the tabs. I thought it was very flimsy.
It's cardboard. If you've ever put something together, you know what you're getting into. It's not sturdy, that's for sure. But
yeah.
You get what you pay for too. It's $25. It comes with 2 figures, so it's a cardboard-esque, very thin cardboard playset. It's more of a diorama than anything else. Takes half an hour tops to put together. It's very simple. Not the most sturdy of things, granted, but again, it's fine. It's just a diorama, and I think it looks pretty cool though. You get like a 3D building out of it. You get the ground, the base area that has stuff going on. A bunch of you get a couple planes, like a tank or something, and then you get Godzilla and Kong figures with like a little orangey paint on them. So overall, it's a quality playset, I think, for $25. Like I said, you get what you pay for, so it's not like super extravagant or out there, but if you dedicate, the 15-20 minutes to build up the playset, you'll be happy with what you got.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I said the other week, it's like it's the same Godzilla and Kong molds that we've already had a bunch of times already, but with a new paint job. But I really like the paint job on these.
Yeah, it's orangey. It's cool. Like it's more along the lines of like their morning fight at the end where they're fighting against Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
So, or like at the end of the movie where they're saying goodbye. It's not goodbye. It's see you later.
See you soon, friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like playsets. Playsets are cool. We need more playsets.
Yeah, and this is cool. Like I said, there's a 3D building that like can hold a figure on the side. So, if you see it, get it. Yeah, I was there 2 days in a row because I didn't notice it the day before, and you told me it was there the next day, and I was like, all right, fine, I'm going.
Also, $25 for a playset, like,
oh,
I mean,
that's nothing. Yeah,
the figures are $20, like alone. It's a good deal.
Yeah. So that was my purchases. I also got some figure purchase from wrestling figs, but that's not for this podcast.
Anything else on the what would be relevant to this podcast?
No, not this week. That was it for this podcast's figs.
I got two interesting things. Although right before we started recording, I got the alert that my Destroy All Monsters Round 1 Mezco set has shipped.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I will have that by next episode's recording. That'll be cool. My purchases are also just Playmates purchases. But that's all right. I got the 2014 like poster burning Godzilla. It's actually pretty sweet. It's a good sculpt. Again, Godzilla is walking and has his head kind of tilted to the sky because
Playmates loves it.
Why can't be in a neutral pose? Can't be in a neutral pose, but like, so it's kind of like the way his head is going is kind of similar to almost kind of like the way like Shin Godzilla's head is going from Playmates.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean,
but it works more. It works more with this figure. I don't know why. It just looks better with the 2014 figure, and I like I like that it's the 2014 style. Like I mean,
sharper
it was cool
spines.
that they, which like. I'm glad they ultimately switched, but I always kind of feel like that like kind of made the legendary Godzilla like a little bit more unique. Like it felt like classic enough, but different enough. And while I didn't mind the switch, like I think it looks cool in figures. It gives it like a much more kind of distinct look, and like the not burning, but like the orangey fire reflective paint is it's good. It's a cool figure. I definitely recommend if you see it. It's like a good little detailed figure. It definitely looks better than like the mold I feel like they use for Godzilla, for MonsterVerse Godzilla and everything else. So I think it's pretty good. I like that. So I found it. I didn't find it in stores around us, but I found it on Mercari for like just a few dollars more than what it sells in a store.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, the amount of time I'm putting in trying to find this thing in stores, like, this is it's worth a few extra bucks to pay. And it seems like it's still kind of like in that price range. But the other thing was that I got like the little six piece 2-inch figure set from Godzilla vs. Kong that Playmates put out, which originally they put out like in everywhere but America. And it's 2-inch figures. They're not articulated. They almost feel like cake toppers, almost like in a way.
Yep.
But it's Godzilla, Kong, a Skullcrawler, the Warbat, the Hellhawk, which is like those like little hawk things towards the end of Godzilla versus Kong,
yep.
and
Behemoth,
which I think is like what everybody like wants this for. And it was like that thing was like that set was like going for like $80 to $100, like when you couldn't find it in America. Now you can buy it on Amazon for $18. You can also buy it on Target for $10. You can buy it like online at Target, but like when you put in our zip code to buy it through Target, like it has to be part of a $35 order, or else they won't even ship it. So So, buy it on Amazon for like $18. I mean, it's six figures. And like, even though they're only 2 inches, like, I was actually kind of surprised like how detailed some of the figures are. And like the paint on Godzilla is like it's good. Like, like they put like little tiny dots like for eyes, and like the teeth are like a little oddly painted, but for the most part, like I was kind of surprised with like how good of a job they did.
Yeah, they're small but they're
And
fierce.
so all the figures are detailed, painted well enough, and it's like the only behemoth figure that like you can get. So
and I know
I
know what a big fan of Behemoth you are too, so I know it's important that you got this.
I don't dislike Behemoth. I just don't get I didn't get the internet's weird fixation on Behemoth for about 6 months. Seems nobody gives a shit anymore. But
that's because Doug showed up.
Yeah.
Who's Behemoth? They have Doug now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Took all that starlight away. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, they could sell 3 more places like that if they put that Doug thing in another one. So, cool, good stuff. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully next episode we'll be talking about the round 1 Destroy All Monsters Mezco set. I have noticed with Mezco that everything I purchase goes into processing status for like a week or more. It doesn't change, and then I send a quick message going, "Hey, just checking on the status," and then next thing I know, it ships that day. And then I get a message going, "Sorry, shipping for you now." And I was like, "Okay, I just got to be on top of these things with Mezco apparently, but whatever, that's fine." So yeah, that's what I got.
Nice. I guess that means we can skip ahead to the poll results of our fan poll, which were to pick the topic, and your voices were heard.
Yeah. Yes, and here we are doing the giant claw because you made us do it. But we will work through that list, and we will move on to Reptilicus now, which was number 2 on the list in the poll. But we will specifically do the Danish version, which is similar but different to the international release version. So very exciting stuff.
This put up a barrier so that I couldn't just rewatch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version.
I'm sorry I did that to you. But we should go right to the originals on these things, Yeah. Well, that'll be fun. I haven't watched that one in a long time. So, cool. Well, we get basketball to watch in a few minutes.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah. So, I'll leave him with Go Celtics.
I will also say Go Celtics, and thanks for listening. I love you.